I'm going to read an article on the Rolling Stone, and the following article is something that proves my point in my previous video. On YouTube, engagement is king. The platform, which thrives on this dual status as both a social media network and a news space, pays creators handsomely for making videos that get large amounts of views and interactions from any given audience. To keep the worst out, the sheer influx of content is moderated with a series of community guidelines that are intended to make YouTube a safer community while still giving creators freedom, according to the site. But a new investigation by research firm Bot Sentinel found at least 2 dozen YouTube channels with flagrant policy violations were allowed to continue posting without censure from YouTube moderators. Even more alarming, they're still getting paid. In an exclusive interview, Bot Sentinel founder Christopher Bowsey tells Rolling Stone that the report uncovered a pattern of unchecked hate speech, misogyny, racism, and targeted harassment singularly focused on famous and identifiable women. The most mentioned women in the channels were Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, the actress Amber Heard, both of whom have remained extremely vocal about the long-term mental and emotional effects of targeted harassment. While the report notes that Bot Sentinel has been hired by Heard's team in the past to determine how much of the online hate was organic, they write that no one hired Bot Sentinel to compile and publish this report. In a review of just 5 single-purpose hate channels focused entirely on Markle, Bot Sentinel estimated the channels receive a combined $42,000 in monthly payments. Since all the videos run with advertisements, it is understood that YouTube also receives a share of the profits. It's still baffling that YouTube gets a cut from all those right-wing fascist videos. Not only they're openly using the algorithm to promote white supremacist videos on the platform and general right-wing propaganda, they're also fully monetized. The article continues reading. So YouTube is to blame, Bowsey tells Rolling Stone. A lot of these folks will not do what they're doing if YouTube was not rewarding them. And let's be clear here, they are rewarding them. When you allow these folks to monetize this content and you're the company that is paying them, at the end of the day, you're pretty much facilitating the harassment, the vitriol that we're currently seeing. When contacted for comment, a YouTube spokesperson who has not seen the report said that the site takes these sorts of violations seriously. We're committed to rigorously enforcing these policies equally for all creators and encourage any user to flag content they believe violates our community guidelines. YouTube's usual PR speak lies in practice here. Instead of addressing the actual problem, they overextend it and say a couple "I'm sorry" words and keep ignoring the problem because profit. Under YouTube's current community guidelines, the site prohibits malicious insults focused on famous or identifiable individuals or based on people's appearances or status, like race being a survival of domestic abuse. But according to the report, channels that focus their content on reactions and opinions of Markle and Heard are often allowed to post defamatory content entirely unchecked. Others employ deceptive practices like including thumbnails that don't correlate to a video's content in order to get past moderators. According to the report, these channels aren't slipping under the radar, they're commonplace. At least 29 YouTube channels were allowed to monetize content that contained harmful, defamatory, and threatening language towards Markle, according to the report. An additional 22 channels posted at least 30,000 videos that made up 80% of all negative anti-Meghan titles on YouTube, like "Booed at Buckingham," "Meg Pews with rage as mourners scream at loudest, booed and Meg back as Queen's dead," and "She is unwelcome. Meghan can't hide despair over absence in Scotland after Queen death report." The single-purpose hate channels focus solely on anti-Markle sentiments, mention negative and defamatory remarks toward Markle in 94% of all their content. According to the report, 3 top producing channels mentioned Markle's name at least 15,000 times in videos that had received a combined 76 million views. In comparison, Bowsey says Catherine, the Princess of Wales, is mentioned less than 3,000 times in videos discussing the royal family, and most references are overwhelmingly positive. Still, the data doesn't lie. If such a hateful right-wing videos are commonplace in a platform and you allow it, you seriously have a problem. I'll stop reading the article here because it's already pretty obvious that YouTube and right-wing creators, or should I say propagandists, are profiting off hate speech, harassment, and general fascist propaganda. The extent that pursuing constant profit at the expense of anything is to the point where stochastic terrorism happens, and actual human lives are in danger. Pursuing profit should not be an excuse to promote through recommendations or to profit off of hate. If you want a reason to pressure YouTube into making essential changes into their algorithm and their way of being, now you have plenty, dear viewer. And now is the time to enact change. At JMAA.tv/YouTube Lebensraum, I've created a page where I make my statement for the cause and give you the tools to take action. Simply tweet at YouTube and TeamYouTube, and hopefully with enough pressure and media coverage, we can make YouTube change their mind on not just promoting right-wing content, but also profiting off it.